And who recalls why from Friday we have these two verbs, tenía, tuve, the verb tener, in two different tenses? Which one's in the imperfect? Tenía or tuve? Tenía, right? So tuve is in the preterite. They're both tener. They're both talking about problemas. Why is one in the imperfect? And why is one in the preterite? In the very same sentence. What is distinguishing the uses of the tenses? What are our key context clues, Savannah?
The word before it.
Exactly. Antes means what? Before, prior to that day. So when I say no tenía problemas estacionar en paralelo, how many times am I talking about not having problems? One time, just one time before that day, or multiple times every time I practiced? Multiple times. Remember, the imperfect is used to illustrate or convey repeated habitual action. So when I said no tenía problemas, I'm talking about repeatedly. I never had problems. No tenía problemas nunca. Pero aquel día. So why did I switch to tuve? What changed in a sentence that affected the grammar in terms of my story? Aquel día. Aquel día means what? That day. One time, specific action completed in the past. I'm referencing that one day, that one time. And so, remember, the preterite is used for specific one-time completed actions in the past, which is why I switched to the preterite. La forma irregular de tener, tuve. Ok, bueno chicos, yo estacionaba en paralelo cuando choqué con un carro estacionado. Remember, we're focusing on the meaning first, because without the meaning, the grammar is totally irrelevant with the understanding and applying the preterite and the imperfect. So what's going on here? What do you notice? Something should stick out to you. Estacionaba en paralelo cuando choqué con un carro estacionado. What's going on here? Cuando sandwich, right? And that's helpful in decoding the meaning of this, okay? So estacionaba is talking about what? How would you translate this? How would you interpret this? Well, this is a new vocab verb. So estacionaba means what? How would you convey this idea? ¿Cómo se dice estacionar? To park. Muy bien. Excelente. So when you see the cuando, and estacionaba is in what tense? Imperfect. And then you have cuando, and then our next verb is what? Preterite. What does this tell us? This is a what? Cuando sandwich, because something was going on. That idea of ing, whenever you want to use ing in the past tense in Spanish, you just use the imperfect, aba or ia. I was sleeping, yo dormía. I was studying, yo estudiaba. Whenever we want to convey ing in Spanish, we use the imperfect. Why? Because that indicates an ongoing action. So, I was what? I was parallel parking. Exactly. I was parallel parking when what happened? What does chocar mean? Crash. Right. What did I do? I crashed into a parked car. No? Muy típico, muy común. That is actually false. But I wanted to apply chapter vocab and embellish the story, and most of all, point out that cuando sandwich, something that was going on when something happened. Muy importante, okay? Inmediatamente el examinador se bajó del carro y examinó el otro carro. Dos verbos. So what did the driver test person do? ¿Sí? ¿Pregunta? Sí.
Does the perfect always come before the preterite?
In a cuando sandwich. When it's a cuando sandwich. There's really nothing always in grammar. besides tenía with age. But I can't really say always, but for the test and the final exam, yes. And that's what matters in 201, right? Okay, so inmediatamente el examinador se bajó del carro. So what did he do? He got out of the car and examined the other car. Now, dos acciones en el pretérito or imperfecto? Is this something he did habitually?
This is
Pretérito, no? Because why? Happened one time. This is the day of the driver's test. One time action in the past. Okay, use inmediatamente again. Bad writing. But me puse muy nerviosa. Muy nerviosa. What's this saying? I got nervous. Exactamente. Muy bien. Me puse. Pretérito or imperfecto? Pretérito. No. ¿Por qué? We talked about in class on Friday, emotions, you use imperfect. This is talking about emotions, so why is it the preterite? Notice the difference. Happened once, exactly. But also, look carefully. Me puse, verses in your notes, estaba. Estaba with adjectives, with emotions, are going to typically be in the imperfect. But me puse, we understood immediately that that means I got nervous as a result of something that happened. So ponerse can mean lots of things. And in this context, with an adjective in present tense, future tense, however you want to use it, you can put ponerse with an adjective to tell you how I became very excited, I got so nervous, or I got so scared at that haunted house. So we can use ponerse in the preterite with an emotion to change the meaning from I felt or was feeling to I got scared, or I got nervous, or I got so happy when I got my midterm grades, por ejemplo, or I got sad. Okay? So me puse, now I got versus I was feeling. ¿Entienden la diferencia? Es muy importante distinguir. Okay, pero él me dijo, está bien, era la cuneta, ¿no? La cuneta, esta cosita aquí. So, él me dijo is saying what? What does me dijo mean? This is from chapter 9, dijo. He what? Él, repite? Said. He said to me, or he told me, está bien, era la cuneta. He told me. So is this pretérito or imperfecto? Me dijo. Pretérito, no? We saw it in chapter 9. Me dijeron was an answer on the test. Mis padres me dijeron, they told me or said to me. And that is, especially in quotes, one-time thing. How would you use decir to say in the imperfect? Or why would you use ever decir in the imperfect if it means said or told? Does anybody know? There's a couple of examples, Brooke.
Like if somebody always told you.
Yes, exactly. My grandmother used to always say, muy bien. Or, my father always said. That would indicate a repeated habitual action. And so we definitely use the imperfect. Mi abuela siempre me decía, come tus verduras, no? Bebe tu leche. Por ejemplo, siempre me decía. You can also use the imperfect of decir to ask somebody, what were you saying? ¿Qué decías? What were you saying? Or I was just saying, blah, 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 blah. Yo simplemente decía, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's not always with anything. In this context, and a lot of times he, she, we told them, whatever, that would be preterite. If it's one thing, but if it's repeated, or we want to convey ing, we'll use the imperfect. Okay, so entonces, él se subió al carro, en el carro escribió algo, se subió, escribió, pretérito or imperfecto? Pretérito, ¿por qué? En inglés, está bien. Why is this a preterite? One time. Sequence of events? Definitely sequence of events. This is what he did, and then next he did this. And it's a one-time action complete past. Me dio el examen y yo saqué 70% en el examen, recibí mi licencia. Otro ejemplo del pretérito, me dio el examen, saqué 70%, recibí mi licencia. Sequence of events, pretérito, 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 actions completed in the past. I actually did get a 70 on my driver's test because I didn't put my hand on the back of the passenger seat headrest when I parallel parked. I almost failed for that. I used my mirrors, and she was like, 70%. But did I care? No. I was like, super feliz. Fue una experiencia de suspensa, pero buena. No? So here we have fue. What's it saying? Fue una experiencia de suspensa, pero buena. What am I doing here? What sentence is this in the story? This is the last one. This is where I'm wrapping everything up. So what am I doing here? Kind of. I'm not describing myself. What am I summarizing? The experience. Because this is what you're going to do next week. You are going to conclude your story. En total, fue una experiencia terrible. Or fue una experiencia buena. Or fue una experiencia fantástica. No, experiencia is feminine, so we want our adjective to be feminine. But we're going to use fue. Even though we're describing the event, we're summarizing an event. Whenever we summarize an event, we use the preterite. So in the final statement, in your conclusion, you're going to summarize the event. And because it's a very specific event, we have to use the preterite. You walk out of your test, you're like, ese examen fue imposible. Or, ese examen fue muy fácil. Or, ¿cómo fue la fiesta? Oh, la fiesta fue muy divertida. Fue, adjective, adjective, adjective. Whenever you summarize any event, a meeting, an appointment, a date, a party, a sporting event, anything that happens and you express a summarizing statement, you're going to use the preterite. Does that make sense? So careful on the supersite, careful on the test, because if you don't know this well and practice it enough, you're going to think, description, ser. I'm going to use era. But those are just general descriptions of past things. Martin Luther King era una persona fabulosa, por ejemplo. Steve Jobs era muy inteligente. Those are descriptions of general things in the past, but these are events. That's different, and we're summarizing the event. ¿Entienden la diferencia? Sí.